Our team coverage of the week that was at 23rd and Lincoln continues now with eCapitol News Director Shawn Ashley. Shawn, 3 anti-abortion bills have passed and moved on to Governor Stitt's desk. What will they do?
House Bill 1102 declares performing an abortion unprofessional conduct for a physician, and because of that, they could lose their license or have it suspended. House Bill 2411 prohibits an abortion when a heartbeat can be heard. So usually that moves the time up when an abortion can no longer be performed to around 6 weeks. And then House Bill 1905 limits abortions to being performed by obstetricians and gynecologists, which opponents of the bill say would significantly limit the number of doctors available in the state to perform abortions, but proponents say, quite simply, it would reduce the number of abortions in the state.
Another bill that would prohibit the closure of places of worship during an emergency has passed out of the Senate. Tell us about that.
Yes, that's House Bill 2648, and it sort of arises out of the last year, the COVID-19 pandemic, when we saw first limitations implemented by the governor, who came back and specifically said that those limitations that resulted in businesses being closed did not include churches. And then we also saw various limitations across various communities in the state, which in some cases led to churches having to close. The idea here is that no undue burden would be placed on a church or other place of worship that would force it to close its doors, even during an emergency.
Attorney General Mike Hunter is going to appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court in the case against death row inmate Sean Bossy. Give us the details on that.
This is tied to the McGirt decision back in June of 2020, which said tribal reservations had not been disestablished, and therefore major crimes involving Native Americans should be tried in federal court rather than state court. This involves one of those cases, and the Court of Criminal Appeals overturned Bossy's conviction. Attorney General Mike Hunter had hoped that that case would be used as sort of a template for other cases, but the Court of Criminal Appeals didn't do that. So now essentially he's asking the Supreme Court to provide that guidance in an appeal to it.
Energy consumers should be interested in a bill aimed at reducing spikes in their utility bills during severe weather.
Yes, we all remember back in February during the massive snowstorm and the record cold temperatures which hit the state. My energy consumption itself was up 3 times compared to an average day. And for many people, that's going to lead to huge utility bills. Utility companies have put off billing many customers for those, awaiting these pieces of legislation to be approved, which would essentially allow them to bill us out over time while their costs are covered by a series of bonds issued on their behalf.
Well, Shawn, I know it's been a very busy and unusual week there at the session for you. Thank you for your time.
You're very welcome.